Hello everyone, welcome to a quick start video of the AUBO Palletizer software. Now once you have launched up your VMware workstation, your Palletizer virtual machine, you should see a Palletizer shortcut that you can click to access the Palletizer software. However, if you don't see it for some reason, go into your folders, Home, AUBO Pallet, and then you can select AUBO Palletizer, and this should also launch up your AUBO Palletizer software like so. Now that our AUBO Palletizer has launched up, you'll get this error message. This is okay because this just means you haven't connected to your robot because you're on your virtual machine. So click OK. Now let's go to the Home tab. As you can see here, this is where the simulation will show. You have your left pallet, right pallet, and they're both not activated yet because you haven't selected any projects for them. So that is fine. Go into Settings, and now if we try to click Station or Robot, we're not able to click them. And the reason is we're currently in operator mode. So go to System, Admin, turn on admin mode, and type in the password AUBO AUBO. And then you click OK. Now you're in admin mode and you'll have access to more of these tabs. Now the reason for this is if you're in operator mode, you'll only be able to select the project and run the projects. However, you're not going to be able to make any changes to the stations. And this is just a security parameter that we have set. Now let's take a look at how we can actually create a palletizing project as well as set up our station. Now creating a project means to build our pallet configuration to the one that you want, and setting up your station simply means to set up where your conveyor is, tell the palletizer where your conveyor is, and to define a few additional parameters and points. Now firstly, let's set up our station. So as you can see here, this is the tool page. You have the tool length, width, the tool parameters. If you're using the default tool, you don't need to change anything on this page. Now the pick point is very important. This will determine where your conveyor is. You're teaching your robot where your conveyor is. As you can see here, you can teach it with the bottom left corner of your conveyor or the bottom right corner, or you can use a fixed point, but the bottom left and bottom right are the most common. So let's say we're using the bottom left. All you need to do is put a box onto your conveyor, align the bottom left corners, and also align your tool with this bottom left corner as well. You give it the box height, and by doing so, you are teaching your robot where exactly your conveyor is. So let's say we want to set a new point. We want to move this conveyor a little bit to the left. Go set. You can move it a little bit to the left. Click yes. As you can see here, now your conveyor is more to the left compared to before. Here you can change the feed direction. It can be vertical, horizontal, and also you can change the label direction. Is your label coming in from the top, from the bottom, from the left, as you can see is changing here in the animation, or from the right. So the next tab is the separator tab. Here basically we allow you to enable the separator, and you can grab separator and put it between whichever layers of your pallet you would like. We won't go into too much details in this video. Next is the coordinate. This core defines where your pallets are. So basically if your pallets are slightly rotated or slightly offset to the right, to the left a little bit, you can give it some compensation here. And basically how you test is you can move your robot to the origin, for example, right? And you can click move backwards and move forwards, and you should see that the edge of your tool should move along the edge of your pallet. And if you see it's not doing that, at that point, you can give it some compensations, either left, right, forward, back, or angle, or even height as well. And you can switch between left or right to check for both your pallets. Alright, so the next tab is the process tab. Now this tab is very important as this will define many of your transition points as well as some of the other parameters. For example, pre-pick, after-pick height. These 2 points basically represent how high your robot is after it picks up the box or before it goes to pick up a box. And your conveyor hold time and stack hold times are essentially how long you wait on the conveyor or on the stack when you release a box or when you go pick up the box. And these 2 points right here, left interpoint or right interpoint, these are the transition points. So as you can see here, so this is our current left interpoint. What this means is after it picks up the box from the conveyor, it will lift up to this height right here, and it'll move to this transition points before coming in to drop off the box onto the pallet. And as you can see here, this is the right transition point right here. So let's say we want to go set the left enter point. We can go set, and we can adjust this point as needed, bring it down and whatnot. And this point you can feel free to play around with and adjust according to your project needs. And here we have the left pre-place, left after place heights. This is basically what is the height at which you enter to place the box. And when you pick up the box, this is the height at which you'll lift it up at an angle first before moving to the transition point and back to the conveyor. Same thing for the right side. And we have a feature here as well called obstacle avoiding points. You don't have to necessarily use this, but let's just say you feel that just the single transition point on both sides isn't enough, and you want to add more obstacle transition avoidance points because you have, for example, a pull here or whatnot. Then you can enable this and add some additional transition points for your robot to avoid obstacles. All right, so the next tab here, we have the safety tab. Here you can change your collision level from 1 to 10, or you can close it if you want. So again, change this as needed for your specific project. Conveyor, these are just some conveyor parameters. We won't go too much into here. And other param, these are just some optimization tools. And you can turn on exhibition mode. Essentially, it'll just constantly move from one pallet onto the other, back and forth. This is just for exhibitions or trade shows. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the second part, which is the project tab. All right, now let's take a look at how we can create a new project. So if you go into the view tab, as you can see here, there are no projects showing here. That's because we haven't created anything yet. But once we create some projects, you'll see them all pop up right here. So let's say we want to create a new one. Click new. Firstly, you want to enter your pallet dimensions. You can enter whatever values here. And once you enter it once, it'll show in this drop-down menu. So let's just go with the default ones we have right here. Enter your box dimensions. Again, all our dimensions, you can be imperial or metric, so that won't be an issue. So let's just say we have a 10 by 12 by 8 box. Let's just say it's 10 pounds. And actually, if your boxes are small enough, if you want, you can do multi-pick mode. Basically, you can pick 2 or 3 or 4 boxes at a time with one gripper. Next, edit, generate. So we have edge spacing and box spacing. Edge spacing defines how much overhang you allow the boxes to have off the pallet. So as you can see here, currently the furthest out the box will go is exactly matching the outside edge of the pallet. So let's just say we add an inch of overhang. So currently note that we can fit 12 boxes. Now that we allow some overhang, now we can fit 16 boxes, right? So adjust this based on your needs. And for box spacing, this is just the minimum spacing between the boxes, so you can increase and decrease this as well. So let's just say we see a configuration that we roughly want, for example, this one right here. However, we want to make some adjustments to it. That's okay. So you can go into Advanced, Pattern Editor. You can drag these boxes around, delete boxes, add boxes. You can, in fact, even delete all the boxes and just go from scratch if you wanted to as well. So let's say you're happy with this. You can go ahead and click Finish and add other configurations as well. So you can add A, B, C configurations. And on the next page, if you add A, B, C configurations, you can choose for every single layer which configuration that you want to do. And here, let's say we all are using the A configuration. We can have every single layer stacked exactly like so, like a column, or we can rotate every layer by 180 degrees, mirror horizontal, vertical. We can delete layers, add layers, and now let's save the project. Save, okay, and click Use this project. All right, so now if you go into View, we will be able to see our test project right here. So go to Use, Change Project, select your test, choose, and this will do a check for us. Basically, this will check to see if our transition points are good or if there's going to be any collisions that can occur with, for example, the conveyor or with your stack in general. So click Check. Everything is good, so that, you can click Optimization if you want, exit, and you can select the project for your right side as well. Choose, Check. So that means everything is good. So you can go into Home and you can click Start. So it's telling you to click the left or right confirmation button. So whichever side you want to palletize on, you can do so. Let's just say the left side. And as you can see here, it is doing the left pallet right here. So one thing I forgot to mention here is you can adjust the pallet height right here. This is where you adjust the pallet height. And so currently the bind speed is 50. So even if I'm at 100% here, the running speed will be at 50%. So if I change this to 100, basically it'll unlock the full potential. And now if I run it, you can see it'll be at 100. So because I changed the settings here, I'll just need to reselect the projects. But that is essentially how you can create and run your projects. Now, so as you can see here, we're currently doing palletizing. What about depalletizing? How can we set up a depalletizing? So we can stop that, go into settings, station. In pick point, there's a depalletizing option here. If you select depalletize, then what will happen is if you click start, it'll assume that your pallets are full and it'll start the depalletizing process, like so. And there you have it. As you can see, now you're able to set up your station and create a simple project and start playing with your AUBO Palletizer. Feel free to contact us for any additional questions or any issues that you run into while using the software. Thank you for watching.